Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with the Ship With Me. These are all orders that came through over the weekend, a pretty big weekend of sales. Some really cool bundles that moved, some interesting pieces. One of my most favorite vintage pieces that has ever come through my hands. Some super fast sellers, some flops, so lots to talk about. We'll talk about what everything is, why I picked it up, how long I had it for, what I sold it for, would I pick it up again. Really just kind of bring you into that part of my process with me. But before we get started here, guys, if this is your first time here, if this is your first time stumbling on my channel, first and foremost, welcome. I am Julia. That is my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and the business of reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you might be into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. Without further ado, guys, I'm running super late. I think it's like 3:30 and we've got a lot of stuff to get through. So why don't you go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink, sit back, relax, and let's get into the shipment. Okay, so the first sale we have here are these cute shoes from Arco Pettico. I always like to kind of gently stuff the shoes to keep their shape. Depending on how you ship them out, I recommend that you do the same. Now, Arco Pettico are what's known as comfort shoes. Comfort shoes in particular are my favorite kind of shoes to pick up. They by far sell the fastest for me. And you'll see, like, there are a lot of different brands, like Clark's would be considered a comfort shoe, Born, Mephisto, Dansko, anything that would be considered like healthy for your feet, right? These shoes tend to be well made, pretty expensive, orthopedically sound, and they always tend to fetch a really high price for me. They tend to be expensive to start with, you know? And the people that wear comfort shoes tend to like only wear comfort shoes, right? So even if you don't pick up a ton of shoes, I would consider spending a little time learning about different comfort shoe brands because of how well they sell. So I had these listed for $48 and they popped through same day as a full price sale. So I will say I got 2 pairs of shoes the same day and they both sold same day full price. So that was a good shoe pickup. I'm always squeamish about picking up shoes because I just have very limited storage. Anyway, with the $2 cost at the bins, this brought me to a profit of $42.40. Super happy to be getting these back out and getting some use. They were in basically perfect condition, so that always makes me quite happy. Next up, we've got this adorable little top from We The Free. I've talked about these t-shirts from We The Free pretty frequently. They sell so well for me. And it is specifically the pieces from We The Free, right? It's not regular tag Free People, it's specifically We The Free. And I'm not sure why, because I get a lot of pieces that are very similar, but these still just sell better. And it's not like a specific kind either. They're white, they're green, they're oversized, they're purple, all different kinds of t-shirts from We The Free sell just very, very well for me. And I always list them at $32 and I typically get between like $20 and $30 for them. That's about average, probably averaging around 25, but I cannot tell you how many pop through as a full price sale. I find a lot of them. There's rarely a day that I go to the bins that I don't come back with at least one. It's pretty infrequent when that happens. Of the probably 100 that I've sold, probably 50 of them have popped through as full price sales. So I don't know what it is, but they've got a little bit of that magic for me. Let me know if you have the same experience with the We The Free t-shirts or if this is just me. I sing my praises all the time and I hope you guys have the same experience. So anyway, I had this one listed for just 2 days and I had it listed for $32 and I got an offer for $25, which I did accept. So with a $2 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $20.56. So love these t-shirts. I will pick them up every time I see them. I recommend you do the same. And I would say like comfortably pay up a little bit, like assume you'll get $20 and run that through like your specific calculations, but pretty safe to assume you'll get a minimum of like $18 to $20 on those. Next up, now this was an interesting one and I wasn't sure how this would do. This is from Baltic Born. Now, I'm very familiar with Baltic Born dresses, but I've never found one of their shirts. This was called the Romy button front shirt. It was a size 2X or 3X. Yeah, 2XL. So it's just a nice basic black shirt, kind of like blousey fit. Again, brand new with tags. So I was hoping that it would move pretty quickly, and it did. Again, I've never seen their like regular clothing, so I was pretty excited to try it out, and I'm always happy when I'm kind of testing something out and it sells over the weekend so I can put it in one of my ship with me's. I have been trying to post a little bit more frequently over on my TikTok and my Instagram. I will have those handles right here if you partake. Join me. Slightly different delivery of the content, but hopefully you enjoy. But I do like when I mention something in a haul that like I'm interested to see how this does. I do enjoy being able to kind of talk through it in a ship with me. So I would say pretty comfortably pick these Baltic Born pieces up. Now this of course was new with tags, so take that into consideration. But I had this listed for just under 1 month. I had it for I guess about 3 weeks, and I had it listed for $34. My sidekick sent an offer for $30, which was accepted. With a $2 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $22. So glad to be moving that on. Glad to have learned a little bit of something about Baltic Born, and let me know, do you see their clothing frequently? Do you wear their clothing? I didn't even know that they made stuff that wasn't like semi-formal dresses and like bridesmaid stuff. So you learn something new every day. Next up is this adorable top. This is from Nat by Natalie Martin. Natalie Martin is a brand you should absolutely be keeping your eyes out for. Super, super expensive brand. I remember the first time I ever picked up a Natalie Martin piece, and it was silk, so I was interested, of course, but it just felt like a wisp of nothing, and I picked it up and it sold like 2 days later for like $85. So it's a brand to keep your eyes out for. Nat, I think, is a diffusion line. This one in particular, I'm pretty sure was sold at Anthropologie. So maybe this was a line that she did specifically for Anthro. Either way, super cute little blousey, kind of off the shoulder peplum top. Seriously, I can't believe some of the prices that some of those dresses go for and how fast they sell. So anyway, I had this listed for 5 to 6 months, and I had it listed for $36, and it popped through as a full price sale. So I did find these back in the East Coast bins that I go to. So I want to say this was probably about 75 cents. Because it's pretty lightweight. So I just generally round that up to $1 when I'm doing my calculations. So with a somewhere sub $1 cost, this brought me to a profit of $27.80. I hope she loves it. Nice and breezy, super, super cute. Next up, now this was an interesting one that got so much interest. This is from a brand called Kindred, which I believe was sold at Anthro. That being said, I don't know if the brand really carried this at all. It was more the fact that it was like a lightweight cotton with this beautiful embroidery work on it. And this shirt, I mean, as soon as I listed it, so much interest. Over on Depop, it must have been pulled into like a special edit or something, because I got a ton of offers that didn't pop through. And anytime that happens to me, typically that means that it got picked up by on some list. You can usually tell because it's like onesies and twosies, and then a specific thing will get like 50 offers or 50 likes, right? But either way, it's beautiful. This kind of stuff, like lightweight cotton, heavily embroidered, like there will never be a time where this kind of stuff is out of style. So I will pick it up no matter what. It's also like exactly the time that stuff like this sells best, right? Springtime, you've got spring events, stuff like this, you know, it is white. You absolutely want to use bridal shower. You want to use those kind of bridal related keywords and something like this, because yes, like people are of course always looking for little white dresses for bridal events, but there's a lot of people that do pants, right? So they would wear something like this with like a white skirt or something like that. It's just kind of like another avenue to get it in front of eyes of people that are interested in buying like white tops. So don't leave that on the table. So anyway, I had this one listed for just 1 week, and it popped through as a full price sale over on eBay, which, to be totally honest, for this kind of shirt, I'm not surprised. With a $2 cost at the bins, this brought me to a profit of $25.66. So pretty. Next up, now this is one that I'm willing to have one in my size show up in my sourcing adventures. This is from Equipment Femme. I don't know if you can see that there, but there are these tiny little embroidered bees coming out of the pocket. Oh, I love this shirt so much. I absolutely love my bees. We have a lot of bee-friendly flowers and stuff in the garden. I call them my beezels and my bumblers. I love them. I absolutely love them. And I've come a long way, right? I'm still working my way there with spiders. I understand that spiders are just as important as bees, but like, we're not there yet, okay? But I love the bees. I'm really trying with the spiders. Do they have to make those webs like right outside of my window? You know what I'm saying? Like, does it have to be right there? But bees all day. They can come and hang in my garden. So again, I'm willing one of these in my size to come across my path. Equipment is one of those brands that, like, for a couple years with a very serious bolo, these things would be going, something like this would probably go for 50 or 60 bucks. It has come down some in value, but it's still like, if you're sourcing this at the right price, still a great brand to pick up. You know, if you go to like Off Fifth by Saks Fifth Avenue, or you go to like Last Call by Neiman Marcus, you'll still see these, and pieces like this will still be over $100. This probably would have retailed $249 to like $300, something like that, maybe $200 at the low end, but I'm pretty sure it would have been more towards like $250. So it's still a great brand to pick up as long as you're getting it at the right price. The good thing is, I think equipment, like if you're like local thrift store, if you don't have a bins available to you, if your local thrift store is the kind of thrift store that like jacks up prices, I think equipment's a small enough brand that it would kind of fly under the radar. While they'll probably jack up, of course, like Coach and stuff like that, they're probably not going to be jacking up equipment. Anyway, I had this listed for just 2 weeks. Not surprised, because bees forever. And I had it listed for $36. I got an offer for $20 on Poshmark, which I did accept with a $2 cost at the bins. This brought me to a profit of $22 even. And oh, I hope she loves this shirt as much as I do. And hopefully the next one I see will be in my size. All right, next up, we've got this cute little top. This is from Pictures by Johnny Was. I don't think that this line still exists. I'm pretty sure that this was actually like a pajama line back in the day. But honestly, anything from Johnny Was, you've got to pick up. I would comfortably pay up a little bit for it. Maybe not as much for like a Pictures piece as you would for, say, one of those beautiful embroidered tunics. However, anything from Johnny Was is gonna fetch a pretty good price. And this is super cute. This feels very like 90s to me, with a little, it's like kind of like a photo print on the sleeves and the lettuce edge, of course. Soft as could be, and it's double lined on the front, which is interesting for a t-shirt. But especially at the bins, I'm gonna pick up any Johnny Was. Even something that's like flawed, I wouldn't hesitate, especially if you're getting it at bins prices. Like Flawless, you're probably gonna get north of $100, right? But even flawed, you'll get a good price. Either way, I had this listed for just 10 days. And it's kind of funny, like this is one of those ones that I had for a little bit of time, and I just like didn't know how to list it because I wasn't sure how old it was. I wasn't sure if it was a pajama top or a t-shirt, whatever the case was. So I was in kind of like analysis paralysis. Anyway, I finally listed it and it sold in 10 days. Had it listed for $42 and got an offer for $35, which I did accept with a $2 cost at the bins. This brought me to a profit of $26 even. This was over on Poshmark, of course. Hope she loves it. Glad I finally got that thing listed. It's funny, every once in a blue moon I have a piece that I just get analysis paralysis with, and there's no like rhyme or reason as to what those pieces are. Next up is this adorable long line linen button-down shirt. This has no label other than made in Italy on the inside. This is like a perfect little swim cover-up, little topper piece to throw on over, you know, a pair of shorts or whatever. These linen pieces, guys, I'm telling you, if you are getting them at the right price, even with no name on that tag, pick them up. Linen simply sells. Absolutely everybody loves a great versatile linen shirt. I don't care if you are 22 years old going to a beach club in Bali, or you are 75 years old going for your river cruise down the Rhine, right? Like everybody loves a linen overshirt. And generally you can expect for them to sell anywhere between like $20 and like $35 depending on what they are. So obviously take that into account as you are like deciding whether or not to pick up what you found. But honestly, if you're like $5 and under on something like this, comfortably pick that up. $7 or $8, I'm on the fence. It depends on what it is. $10 and over, absolutely not. When I say absolutely not, I'm specifically talking about like kind of brandless linen pieces. If there's a brand on it and you can kind of tie a different kind of value to it, that's a different conversation, but the brandless linen pieces, up to $5 all day. Anyway, had this listed for about 4 weeks, and I had it listed for $32 and it popped through as a full price sale. So with a $2 cost at the bins, this brought me to a profit of $26.43. I always like to think that these things are going on a fabulous adventure. Like I just kind of put that energy into those pieces. Next up, I've got this most ridiculous little sweater. This is something that my sister-in-law picked up when she was out here sourcing with me. And she knows how much I love these weird little novelty sweaters. And this is just a cute little nautical moment. It's all acrylic, but these kind of novelty sweaters, if you can source them at the right price, do sell quite well. These used to be an almost guaranteed like Depop sale, but recently eBay's been taking the cake with these. Although this one did sell on Depop, so here we are. This has gotta be like late 70s, early 80s, just looking at the tag. Anyway, I had this listed for only about 3 weeks. And honestly, most of these kind of sweaters sell within like a month or two for me. So just, you know, they do move quite well. And I had it listed at $28 and I got an offer for $23, which I did accept with a $2 cost of the bins. This brought me to a profit of $16.40. So much fun. I hope they love it. Love a little bit of whimsy on a sweater. Next up, this is an interesting piece. So this is a pair of like beach pants from a brand called Banjera. And I think Banjera is basically just like a boutique brand, but these are linen blend in this beautiful like papaya color. And they have leg slits that come up to about knee height. So super flowy and breezy when you wear them. This is like the exact kind of thing you want to wear over a swimsuit. I've sold a couple things from this brand. I don't see it all that often, but I've picked up a couple pieces when I do see it. And it has always sold pretty well for me. Like, let me know if you are familiar with Banjera. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's just like a little boutique brand. So definitely not anything where the name carries it, that's for sure. Again, these swim cover-up pieces, like if you are going through and kind of refreshing all your listings, like make sure if you have something that can be considered like a swim cover-up, like these are palazzo pants, essentially, right? But I also tagged this with swim cover-up and resort wear and stuff like that. And that gets it in front of the eyes of people who are looking for stuff like that, right? So just make sure you're not leaving those kind of keywords out. Anyway, I had these listed for about 6 months. I did get them right in the beginning of winter. And I had them listed for $28 and they popped through as a full price sale. So there you go. With a $1 cost at the bins, this brought me to a profit of $21.40 over on Poshmark. So again, I hope this is going on some kind of grand beach adventure. Please and thank you. Next up, okay, this is a vintage piece that I am so surprised took as long to sell as it did. First of all, look at the sequins, it's color blocked. This is so like peak 90s. I can't even handle it. I don't think I've ever had as much interest in a vintage shirt as I have in this shirt. Tons and tons and tons of offers over on Depop that didn't pop through. And I mean, so many other shirts that I've had that are in the same vein that have sold before this one. I am just so surprised that this one took the longest, despite it probably having the most interest. Like 100%, that is like a shirt that I would have worn at like 9 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my flavor as a kid. I wasn't always a minimalist in terms of my dressing. Something like this and like culottes. And I would have been feeling fresh. So anyway, I had this listed for about 10 months. Again, complete head scratcher to me as to why this took as long as it did. And I'm sure some of you out there are like, because it's ugly. And like, respect. It's, you know, definitely a matter of taste on this. But I sell a lot of stuff like this. And this just felt like the pinnacle. Anyway, I had it listed for 10 months. And I had it listed for $32 and I got an offer for $20. I was ready to move this on. And with a $1 cost at the bins, this brought me to a profit of $16. So I hope this brings them a little bit of joy because it definitely brought a smile to my face. Next up, okay, so this is a little piece from Abercrombie. Now what I'm about to say does not apply to their dresses because their dresses sell fairly well. Especially if you're catching one of their dresses that's like in line right now. But this is just a little like mesh shirt with like an underlayer that's like a one shoulder shirt. And I honestly picked this up with the intention of bringing it to buy, sell, trade. And I never ended up doing so. I ended up listing it. Abercrombie stuff like this had been selling fairly well for me. I'm not getting like $25 or $30 for it. It's more like, you know, somewhere between 10 to 20, but they're usually a quick sale. You know, people really love Abercrombie stuff. And honestly, their stuff is really like Their quality is pretty decent for the price. So if you are in the market for cute clothing, check out Abercrombie stuff and check it out on the secondhand market. They're not too expensive in store. They're not Target prices. You know, they're not Walmart prices. They're not Shein, but I'll tell you, they're not Shein quality either. I've been pretty impressed with the stuff that I've seen coming out of Abercrombie these days. So yeah, this was a buy, sell, trade fail, not a failure on their part, on my part. So anyway, I had this listed for just under 1 month. Again, they do tend to sell pretty quick. And I had it listed for $22 and got an offer for $15 over on eBay, which I did accept. With a $2 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $11.71, which again, I'm super happy with, you know, if it's something that's in and out of my hands pretty quickly and it doesn't take a lot, you know, of storage space. Next up here, now this is a brand that I want you to have on your radar for sure. And this is a brand called Dosa. Let me see if I can show you this label here. Really tiny, but this I picked up. I didn't know the brand at all, but 100% I would have picked this up no matter what because it felt like an absolute dream. Beautiful, super high quality, lightweight cotton in like a tunic silhouette. I mean, yes, yes, and yes. So come to find out, this brand is extremely high-end. And this shirt in particular retailed around $500. So very, very, very spendy. And the resale value is also very high, with shirts in the $100 to $200 range and dresses in the $200 to like $300 range. So it's a bolo for sure. And not only that, but it's sold overnight. These kind of like ultra high quality basics are just always going to be something you need to keep your eyes out for and do your best to like stay abreast of the brands. And I will do my best to help you. Certainly I'm forever learning new ones, right? So it's kind of the beauty of what we do. Anyway, I had this one listed for, again, hours, and I had it listed for $149 and it popped through as a full price sale. So there you go. With a $2 cost at the bins, this brought me to a profit of $127.68. So hope she absolutely adores that. That is so stunning. Next up, this is one that my sister-in-law picked up, another one. This is a J. Crew little like wrap dress. And this is like a perfect crepe, blouson sleeve, kind of knee length. It's a perfect like work appropriate, cocktail appropriate dress. To be sure, guys, I will never know how best to fold a wrap dress. It's another one of those pieces that will never ever be out of style. Now J. Crew, I'm really selective with what I do pick up because a lot of the stuff just doesn't resell well, which is crazy because J. Crew is like super expensive, really well made, really great classic pieces. It just does not hold its value in resale, which is to say, if you're a J. Crew lover, hit the thrifts because there's not a whole lot of resellers picking this stuff up. There's always a lot like in the bins. It always kind of breaks my heart when I leave this stuff behind. But anyway, I had this listed for just about 3 weeks and I had it listed for $36 and I got an offer for $30, which I gladly accepted. With a $2 cost at the bins, this brought me to a profit of $22 even. So hope she loves it again. One of those pieces that will never, ever be out of style there. Next up, we have a really fun 2-piece bundle. This first piece here is from Bell & Day, which I think was like an LA-based maker. This is definitely like hand cut and hand sewn, right? Like this is not on a blank sweatshirt. This is like a super soft terry cloth with this fun embroidered detail on the back. Super duper cozy. A lot of their pieces are like this. They're either like a fun dye scheme or a really cool embroidery. And every piece I've ever had has sold super duper quickly. So if you see it, pick it up. I just don't know how much of this you're actually going to see outside of the LA area. And the other piece she picked up is this great vintage big pony polo. Now I've gotten a lot of advice from you guys about what keywords to use for this because I don't do a whole lot of polo. And one of the keywords that kept coming up was flesh pony. I don't love that, but that is what they're referring to with a flesh pony because a lot of them are like monochromatic. And this one is obviously multicolor with the color of flesh. I don't know if I'll ever love that. I don't know if I'll ever love that as a term. But either way, they are more desirable than the regular polo shirts, so grab them if you find them. They're not, you know, it's not like they're going for like $40, $50, and I'm sure that there are some like polo sellers out there that will fetch kind of top dollar for them, but that's probably gonna be people who really specialize in it. Anyway, I had both of these listed for less than 1 month, and the total bundle cost was $55. The bundle cost with the discount was $45, and she offered $37, which I did accept. With a $4 total cost at the bins, this brought me to a profit of $26.05. I'm always happy when I can find one of those Bell & Day pieces, because it does seem like they have a real market out there for them. They're just very whimsical, right? Next up, now this is a piece that I've had for so long, and it has absolutely been on the chopping block more than once. This is like a collab piece with Victoria's Secret, and I am gonna butcher her name, Mary Catrancho. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but they were just like floral leggings, and I don't know if they are kind of something that's just not in demand in terms of the designer that the collab was with, or if it's just a function of kind of leggings falling off a little bit. Probably a combo of both. Either way, they were in great condition. They're super nice. I'm always kind of surprised by how nice the Victoria's Secret leggings are. I know a lot of people really swear by them, but these have almost been donated like 3 or 4 times. I've had them, I think, about a year and a half, but I had them listed for $32 and I got an offer for $25, which I did accept, gladly accepted. I was ready to move these on, and with the $1 cost at the bins, this brought me to a profit of $19 even. So hope she loves it. Glad to be getting these into a new home. So next up, and I'm not gonna make you sit and watch the whole folding, I had found a cache of 5 All Saints t-shirts, and I had somebody come through and buy 3 of them. I wasn't gonna be surprised if I got a bundle offer on those just because they were all the same size and kind of in the same vein. But the other thing that sold in that bundle is this gorgeous sweater from a brand called Paca. And Paca is a Peruvian-based company that does alpaca blend sweaters. They're all handmade by, I believe it's female artisans down in Peru, which is super cool. There was no tag in the sweater, just the little logo. So I urge you to check it out because they are pricey. So he got the Paca sweater and then 3 of the All Saints tees. Nice little bundle. He said he was traveling internationally in about 3 days, so I'm getting this out the door same day for him so it can be in hand for his trip. Anyway, I had all 4 of these pieces listed for just about 1 week each, which is great. And the bundle, the total price was $191. With my bundle offer, it was $162.35. And it came through as a full price bundle sale. And with a total $8 cost at the bins, this brought me to a profit of $121.88. So hope he absolutely loves it. And then finally, this is one of those pieces that will stay with me forever. This is a Patrick Kelly dress. He was a young designer. He kind of rose to fame in France. He was basically the first Black inductee to the French fashion like governing body. And he passed away really young in like 1990 or 1991. And he was very known for these kind of like over the top embellishments. Like these are, I don't know if you can hear that, but these are like brass, they're heavy. His pieces are very rare. They are very sought after. It was one of those things where my heart literally like leapt into my chest in the bins. Because of what this is and because of the price, I'm gonna take a little extra time wrapping this and making sure that these are kind of protected and all of that. So I'm just gonna fast forward this, so enjoy the time lapse. So we are all safe and secure. I wanted to make sure that those little stars were protected more than anything against each other, and I just didn't want them like picking on the fabric. The fabric is pretty like tight knit, but don't think it's an issue. Anyway, again, As a fashion nerd, this is one of those things that it's a bit of an honor to be a custodian of for even a few days, because this sold very, very quickly. This sold in one day. I had this listed at $600 and I got an offer for $400, which I did accept. And with a $2 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $345.94. So I hope where this is going to get the love that it deserves. Again, just such a treat for me to like hold this kind of history in my hands. It's like a real joy for me, right? So anyway, I hope they love it. But that is it, guys. That is the haul for today. I thank you so much for hanging with me while I literally get my work done. I thank you for nerding out about these pieces with me. I mean, every once in a blue moon, something like that comes across my desk, and it just absolutely delights me. I mean, that was pretty incredible, but other than that, it was still a pretty great weekend of sales. I hope that you all had a great weekend of sales as well. But I have got to get going. It is after 4:45, so I am running out the door. So if you had fun, please consider leaving a like or a comment on this video. Of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, I hope you have the most beautiful weekend. Happy hunting, and I will see you all in the next one.